So today on Seamless Integration, we're going to talk about lighting control and how it might be used in various environments. In this case, we're going to talk about a master bathroom, which could be many bathrooms. We like to use lighting control for a number of reasons. First and foremost for us, we like to use it as a way of minimizing the amount of wall clutter. And what I mean by wall clutter are all the junk that you see on the wall, the switches, the receptacles, thermostats, all the things that, you know, if you're an architect, you never really put on your drawings, and then you know, once the home or the building is done, you don't necessarily notice it until you take the pictures, and then you've got all this stuff on the wall. So at any rate, a bathroom is a good example because generally speaking, while this bathroom that I'm in is a little larger, generally they're fairly tight spaces and they've got these big banks of light switches. Most people, even in the smallest of bathrooms, you'll have a light fixture in the bathtub, you'll have another one overhead in the dressing area, you'll have another one over your vanity, you'll have a fan for your toilet, you may have another one in a toilet closet. So, you know, right there you're talking about 4 individual light switches cluttering up your wall. In this room, what we have are track lights overhead, recess lights overhead, sconces on the wall. We've got 2 different fans in here, one that runs the shower area, one that runs a toilet area. We've of course got lights in the toilet area, both overhead, as well as a night light down below. So, for us, what we want to do is take the wall clutter out of the equation. By doing that, instead of the bank of wall switches, we simplify it and we use this little itty-bitty keypad, which in this case is actually smaller than the actual receptacle itself that you see here. So this keypad takes the place of the 3, 4, 5 light switches on the wall. In addition, we have automated shades in here, which is part of the lighting system. So we've got the shade buttons in here as well. The way the lighting system works is, you know, wall clutter is a big deal, but part of it is also getting the right illumination. If you're working with a lighting designer, and many people don't, but if you're working with a lighting designer or an architect, when they place the light fixtures in the room, they're not expecting you to only walk into a room and use one light source. They're also not necessarily expecting you to walk into the room and use all the light sources on at full brightness. They may use varying wattage of bulbs, they may use dimmers and what have you. But at any rate, the idea is to fill the room with light correctly. And that is very, very difficult to achieve without using some sort of dimming modules, whether it's the standard rotating knobs in the wall or some sort of lighting control. As you might expect, trying to achieve that with a standard dimmer, you know, it's one thing if you've only got one light switch in the room. It's a little different story if you've got 4 or 5 different loads of lights and you're trying to achieve a certain look. You know, whether it's for dressing in the morning, whether it's you know, if you walk into the restroom late in the evening, you know, say 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't necessarily want the lights blasting on you. In this type of system, the lights automatically adjust based both on time of day as well as based on ambient light in the room. Hence one of the reasons why in this particular application we have the skylight shades as well as the window shades all tied in to the system. So quite simply, the press of this one button adjusts all the lights accordingly, down, up. In this particular client's home, they wanted to have an individual control over their track light, so we did give them an individual track button The shade buttons, obviously shades down, triggers this, and shades up. And in this application, by pressing and holding the shade button, we can also drop the shades that are in the skylight area. Something else which is a bit unique to lighting controls are some of the more advanced things that you can accomplish with them. So in this application, this is a great example. As you might imagine, privacy could be a concern here. We've got the shower area that's boldly exposed to the York River. Beautiful, fantastic views, certainly relaxing, except for maybe when the fishermen are driving by and you might feel a little bit uncomfortable. Well, obviously we have the shades in here. In this application, these are dual roller shades. One of the shades is a water resistant shade. The other one is just purely for light resistance. However, in this application, the shades actually, while they do serve a purpose, the purpose is really more based on the individual needing to feel the privacy, not necessarily because they have to. What I mean by this is the windows here are a mirrored two-way reflective glass. So from the outside, depending on the light, it's a mirrored effect. You can't see in the windows. Now, that holds true during the day, and it holds true at night when the lights are off in the bathroom. However, the way that a two-way mirror works is when the lights turn on, and it's nighttime, if the light inside of the room is brighter than the light on the outside of the room, which would ordinarily be have the reflective surface to it, you actually can see in, and instead your reflection is reversed and you can't necessarily see out. So the way that this system works is simply in the evening, or if the light reaches a certain threshold, when you turn the lights on, and it's in the night mode, just outside the windows, completely surrounding this restroom, you've got recessed lights, and we've got, out here, we've got sconce lights that beam down automatically on the windows, thus creating the environment that we need to make sure that we manage the light correctly. So even at night, no one can see in. Now, in addition to your basic control that you would use when you walk into the room, so from one of these keypads, we can also adjust the light from this touch panel. So in this case, the touch panel is part of an automation system for the home. We are currently on the lights page for this particular room, and you see a lot of buttons here. It might look a little intimidating at first, but it's nothing more than what you would see on your walls in the form of switches if you didn't have a lighting control to clean up your walls. So we've got the track light, we've got vanity recessed, we have vanity sconces, shower recessed, the toilet recessed, exhaust fans, the night light, and we've got our outside glass, which helps keep people from being able to see in at night. We've also got the presets, and in this application, when you press the lights button that we were just looking at on the keypad, the presets are actually what it triggers. So we've got day, which, based on the time of day is going to fire off, and we have night. And then we have off. And what's great about the presets is we've got them here on the touch panel. You generally wouldn't use them, but the way that we build our presets for lighting control at Seamless Integration is a method that gives you, the user, the ability to learn your own presets. And that sounds pretty rudimentary. And when I say learn your own presets, most lighting control systems that you would experience, they've got, whatever the 3 presets or 4 or whatever somebody has. And if that person wants to change their presets, they're actually stuck having to call their integrator or their lighting designer and request an aiming session, which is nothing more than somebody coming out, cracking open their laptop computer, and adjusting the lights to the levels that you want to see them at. And hopefully they get those lights adjusted to your liking on the first shot, and you're not going to be sitting there a week later or in the evening after the sun has gone down and determined that, hey man, these light levels are just not right, and you're calling them back out again, at which case, when you're calling them out, you're also paying somebody anywhere from $150 to $250 per hour to do this. So with a little bit more programming, it's a little bit more costly up front, but we remedy that situation and we give our clients the ability to adjust their own lights to their liking as often as possible. It's as simple as changing a radio station preset on your car stereo. We'll do one right now. I'm going to dim this down. So we're in the night mode currently. We'll dim it down here. Press and hold my night button. It's going to flash quickly, and it is now learned. And when I go and press this, and then I come back down, you're going to see it's now adjusting to the level that we just learned it at. If I don't like that level, or say somebody else in the house doesn't like it, and in this case, we know the customer might not like it, instead of trying to figure out how the client had it before, all I'm going to do is press and hold this button. But instead of holding it for 5 seconds, I'm going to hold it for 15. It's going to do its pulse thing again, and it will re-engage the originally programmed preset. And there it is. And that is it for lighting control in a bathroom.